Welcome back to the Green Screen, the only UNT sports news show. I'm your favorite host, Evanson Frank Love. And despite some Mean Green sports seasons ending, we still have some amazing updates for you. We're coming and we're starting swinging at you hard. I still don't know if our softball reporter, Mehl, if he knows how to swing a baseball, but let's start off with our softball reporter, Mehl. How you doing, man?
Evanson, man, I told you last week, swinging bats is not my strong suit. Luckily, it is our softball team's strong suit because they have been absolutely killing it. They're 9-1 in their last 10, including a win Wednesday night, 5-3 over Abilene Christian University. This game was a little bit of a rock fight. It was an uncharacteristic game from Annika Anderson. Luckily, our defense was able to step up, especially Riley Harris, our backup catcher, in for Elizabeth Moffitt. Here's a pickoff by her, which was huge. Offensively, not much to talk about, but Casey Slovak, a freshman, hitting over 300, having a great season, got 3 of the 5 RBIs. In another big game for Madison Conley, hitting her 10th home run of the season. She's been absolutely on fire for us and just doing everything she can in Moffitt's absence to make sure that we remain as good as we can be. She's been a big help in this 3-game win streak that we've had, and she was a huge help Wednesday night, keeping us in the positive, getting a win. To talk about that is Coach White and Madison herself.
To be honest with you, I don't coach her a whole lot. She coaches herself. She is one of the smartest kids, smartest hitters I've ever been around. I just help facilitate it. I'm right there just bouncing ideas off of her, but she runs with a lot of these ideas, and she owns that. You know, she really buys into that, and she studies this game better than anyone. And so I'm just there to try to help push it along and help facilitate any way I can with her.
It's definitely cool to see my name out there and something that I can look forward to. But it's always a goal of mine. I strive to be perfect and 100%, and so I know that I can create that honorable mention into the Player of the Week, and that's always my goal. Of course, I'm not going to settle for less. But I always love seeing those awards, and it's just another pat on my back to know that I'm good where I'm at and just to trust my word.
Conley has been absolutely huge for us. For the second straight week, she was named an American Conference honorable mention, and she currently has a 19-game hitting streak. If we want to continue to win, as we are #1 in the American Conference right now, she is going to be a vital part of that, especially if Moffitt remains injured with a concussion. We were also able to win last weekend against UTSA. We won the series. We did drop the first game, so things got a little bit shaky. We weren't sure, but we bounced back. We won 11-4 and 6-4. Conley shined in these as well. She batted over 500 for the weekend. Another really big player in Moffitt's absence has been Araya Mitchell. She's playing absolutely phenomenal. She's a D2 transfer, so she's been making the transition, but she's made the transition almost seamlessly, it seems like. She's batting over 300, and she has just been absolutely amazing for us. This weekend, we go away again to play Charlotte, who is a solid team, but I really do think that we can get a series win here. They're 18-15, and they're 4-5 overall in conference, so we do look better than them, but you know, weirder things have happened. I do feel really confident in our team, especially with how they've been hitting and pitching, especially Annika Anderson and Brittany Lewinsky. Brittany Lewinsky has really stepped up. She had a little bit of a shakier start to the season as well, but she's won 6 of her last, I want to say, 8 starts. She's been amazing. With Charlotte, their losses in conference are to USF and FAU, who are some of the top teams. So that 4-5 conference record might look a little bit deceiving, but I do really feel like we can get a couple of wins this weekend and continue our trajectory upwards into maybe even getting the 1 seed in the conference tournament at the end of the season.
I'll tell you what, I'm more confident in them than in you swinging a bat, so I know that they'll be able to get some wins, Matt. Thank you so much on the update for our women's softball team. It's always good to hear that they're doing great. Let's move on to our men's football team. I know they're not even in season yet. We have to talk about them because they're in the midst of spring practice, and our football reporter Jayden, he actually got a chance to speak with one of the transfer players about the season upcoming and the hopeful. Let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you, Evanson. You know, it feels great to be back here in the studio. Mean Green football is back in full effect for the spring. I'm joined here today by Jazari Priester, who is a 2026 transfer from Virginia Tech, coming in to help beef up the O-line for this upcoming season. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's, you know, I was able to come out and see you guys practice a little bit today, and I could see some promising talent. Like we just had a conversation before this, you know, a lot of transfers coming in. Yeah. The competition is up. But I do want to start off today with, like, what was the biggest factor in your decision coming into UNT?
For me, I saw UNT was on the rise. They finished top 25 in the country last year. And I just wanted to go to a place where I had an opportunity to really play and be a guy,
Yeah.
I think it's been perfect. I found a group of guys that really got the same mentality I got, and I'm excited to continue to work.
As far as your game, we did speak about before this interview about how you played defensive tackle, and then you transitioned over to offensive tackle. How did Virginia Tech prep you from your first full year playing offensive line to now coming in and looking forward to possibly getting a starting position?
Yeah, at first it was really hard because I'm transferring from Hampton University where I was a freshman All-American playing D-tackle, going to Virginia Tech, having success at D-tackle there, and then they come to me and ask me to play offensive line just for the betterment of my future, trying to get to the NFL. And at first it was kind of like taking 20 steps back to take 100 steps forward, and that was kind of how they was telling me, explaining it to me. So, and then going into the portal, finding a school that believes in my talents as an offensive lineman, I had a lot of schools that liked that about me, so that was a blessing. And coming here to North Texas, I could tell they believed in my talents as an offensive lineman. The hardest part has probably been just relearning all the new technique, but once you get used to that, it's just playing fast and playing hard, so just like football.
But while you've been here, how do you think some things are going for you personally during the off season, spring, and kind of your transition over? Yeah,
for me, during spring, I like to just focus on the things I can control, which is being the leader in the locker room, just try to be a veteran presence, be as consistent and professional as I can with the work I do and the way I take care of my body. Because you can't really win no games in spring, so you can only just continue to better yourself as a player. So that's the mindset I take.
And we did talk about your old team at Hampton Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been, being able to play on the same team as him again? Yeah. And is there any other players that you would say right now that you've been, kind of making connections with and hanging outside of practices? Yeah,
me and Terrell, we came into Hampton our same year, class of 23, out of high school. We was both on the D-line. It's amazing seeing him really grow up, because he's now a leader of the defense, and we're going to be one of the star players we got this year, man. So I'm so proud of him, just becoming the player and the man that he is now. And then I got close with all the old linemen, Johnny Williams, Chandler Strong, those guys I transferred in with. We got a like mentality of just wanting to be great, wanting to win, so I always appreciate that in players.
And then with the whole new coaching staff, offensive line, Neil Brown, Mike Bloch too as well, the new run game coordinator, who used to be UNT's offensive coordinator. How has your experience been with working with those guys and being able to work under them?
The coaching staff is really honest and demanding, and that's what you need if you want to win games and eventually win championships. You need people that's going to be honest and hold you to a standard. And they do a really great job at that. The whole coaching staff is on one accord. One coach isn't going to tell you to do something that another coach isn't going to tell you to do. This is one standard. If I mess up to that coach, all the coaches know you messed up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, no gray area. There's one standard, and that's a sign of a great coaching staff.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you.
All right, back to you, Evanson.
Thank you, Jayden. Well, new face, new team. Spring practice is the perfect opportunity for not only the coaches but the players to get a glimpse of what summer's going to look like. But let's take a look at what Matt Powledge, our new defensive coordinator, had to say about what the defense is going to look like going into the new season.
Yeah, very, very good question. We're multiple. A lot of times you'll see us out there today, and kind of 4-2-5 structure. We also got the ability to move to a 3-4 and play in our odd package a good bit. For us and our 3-down to our 4-down stuff, we can stem to it, we can move to it, we can just align in it, and so. That's kind of front structure wise and kind of whole lay of the land wise. That's kind of where it's at. Coverage wise, we play multiple coverages as well. So we'll be split safety and play some quarters and cover 2, but we'll also play some man and cover 3 also. So we'll try to deny the ball when needed, and we'll try to be zone vision, zone break as a mixer, as a changeup. And we're pretty aggressive in terms of the way we want to attack and bring bullets from different areas.
I'm excited and also very hopeful to see what our defense looks like. With Skylar Cassidy now missing, that defense used to be dynamic and very aggressive, but I'm pretty sure Matt Powledge, he has the right mindset for the team. So very hopeful for what's going on. But let's move on with more football updates. Our producer, Seth Wickman, he actually got a chance to check out the pro day for our UNT football team and get to see, who's more likely on the UNT football team to get drafted in 2026.
UNT hosted its pro day where we saw 13 Mean Green athletes showcase their ability to try and impress NFL scouts from 9 teams. One of the head turners of the day was safety Will Jones, who posted a 4.4 40-yard dash, a 30.5-inch vertical, and 20 bench press reps. He feels as if he's prepared for the next level.
Really just I've talked to a few teams here and there. I'm just trying to stay focused and be locked in. So if my name is called or when I get a call to go somewhere, that I'll be 100% and ready. It's always been a dream for me, just like all of my other brothers out here. So just like I said, staying focused, not getting too high, not getting too low. It's always work to be done. So
another performer that stood out was receiver Cameron Dorner. He posted a 4.6 40-yard dash, 12 bench press reps, and 37-inch vertical. He feels he's got what it takes for the pros.
I've talked to the Saints, I've talked to the 49ers, talked to a couple other teams, and me and my agent definitely get together around for sure to look at maybe where I could be going. And I've heard some things as far as 5th to 7th round. I've heard some things as far as undrafted. So I really don't know. So I'm expecting nothing. I'm expecting I just want to try out and I just want to get my foot in the door because that's all I need for sure. Now it would mean like the world to me. I couldn't care less about I was drafted 1st round or 7th round. Just to hear my name get called on that TV and a lot of people hear my name and being the first player drafted from my high school and kind of being the first athlete kind of to make it in my family is going to be something big. I'm going to have a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money for sure and play the game I love at the highest level and yeah, I'm definitely just grateful for that. It'll mean the world to me for sure.
For the green screen, I'm Seth Wickman.
Thank you, Seth. Will Jones, he had a great season. He had 46 solo tackles, 82 total, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 interceptions alongside with 2 passes defended. And then we have Cameron Dorner. He had 56 receptions, 911 yards, 8 total touchdowns. He averaged 16 yards per reception. He had a great season. These are 2 hopeful UNT athletes, football players, I should say, that are looking to be drafted in the 2026 NFL draft. And hopefully we get a chance to see them play at the professional level. I know that everybody would be very excited to see that. Let's move on to a UNT sport that also has their own spring season. I didn't even know they had spring practices for women's volleyball, but I guess they do. But I'm just happy that Bailey Duchot, our volleyball reporter, she's here in the studio. She hasn't been here since she had to fill in for me and host. I'm so happy to see you here.
I'm happy to see you too, Evanson, in our respective, positions. And yeah, as you mentioned, volleyball is kicking off their own version of spring ball this Saturday here at the Volleyball Center against DBU and ACU. Now, these are exposition games, meaning that there's not really any weight going into these games, whether they win or lose, even though they're going to win. It's not going to affect their record or their standings as they go into the official season this August. And these games are going to be really interesting and really important for this team, as it will be a time for them to experiment and get used to the new chemistry that this team is going to have, because we are sadly losing a lot of key players that made this past season as successful as it was. The people we're going to be losing are going to be Carmen Scroggins, Paige Mooney, and Alexa Washington. And you guys have heard me mention all those names, and you know how important they were to this team. Now, all these players are seniors, so they aren't transferring to other teams, but they are moving on to bigger and better things, and I'm excited for them and what they have coming up. But you lose some, but you also win some, and we have 2 new amazing prospects coming into this team next week and obviously in August. We have Jocelyn Jordan. She's a senior, transferring senior from Robert Morris. She had a great 2 years there, leading in kills both of those years and finishing within the top 5 in her team in aces, blocks, and digs. So And she also has an opposing frame being 6'2", and it's always great to have height in a sport like volleyball. Somebody who's going to be reliable, somebody who can both be great offense and defense. And I'm excited to see how she looks on this team on Saturday. Then we have true freshman Paige Hawkins coming in. She's a setter, and she had a great senior season out at her high school, leading in aces and assists. She's also 5'11", so again, more height, and you need that in a sport like volleyball. And just from reading about these girls, I know that they're going to be talented. I know they're going to be ballers, and I know that they're going to make an impact on this team. All that's left to do is just see it in action. And that's all I have for you today, Evanson.
Well, hopefully we get to see the action very, very soon. And I know you're more excited than I am. Thank you so much for the update. It's always good seeing you back here at the desk, not in the hosting position. I never want to see you do that again.
Okay.
Only kidding, only kidding. Let's move on to the fastest athletes that we have on campus, and that's going to be our UNT track and field team. Our UNT track and field reporter, Brandon Martinez, he's here. Obviously, he wasn't keeping up with them, but like always, he got the updates.
Thank you, Evanson, and I do have the updates. North Texas track and field team made a strong statement this past weekend at the TCU Alumni Invitational, with the men's team finishing 2nd overall and the women's team placing 4th in this 2-day meet. The men's side, though, they were powered by 3 event wins, highlighted by Olu Williams, who continues to put on the show like he did in the indoor season so far. Williams secured 1st place in the men's discus and followed it up with a runner-up finish in the shot put, adding to what's already been an impressive year for him so far. North Texas also showed strength on the track, capturing wins in both relay events. The 4x100 relay team of Hendrick Hundle, Jalen Washington, Nehemiah Ray, and Derek Warren, who took the top spot. While the 4x400 relay squad, Chris Johnson, Clarence McGill, McKendon Brown, and Derek Warren again closed things out with another victory. The men's team added multiple podium finishes, including 2nd place performances from Marcus Kennedy in the high jump and Jason Patrick in the hammer throw. On the women's side, though, it was a standout day for Mackenzie Coe, who won the javelin with a personal best throw of 50.19 meters. Ava Roberts also delivered, earning 3rd place in the shot put with a mark of 14.77 meters. Looking ahead, though, this marks an exciting moment for North Texas as the team continues to improve and prepare to compete in the Texas Relays on April 1st, a meet they haven't quite attended in a long time. It's a major opportunity for Mean Green to put themselves on the map, and they're also facing some big schools such as BYU, Ohio State, Kentucky, Clemson, and even Harvard. And like I keep saying, keep an eye out on Olu Williams. His momentum continues to build. After a strong indoor season, he's now adding outdoor wins and podium finishes. He's been recognized for many performances, and he's also been recognized as as the Field Athlete of the Week by the American Conference. So just look out for him, and that's pretty much all I got for this week. I'm taking it back to you, Jefferson, at the desk.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much for the update. Our men's golf team, they didn't have a tournament this past weekend. They do play on Monday at the Merritt Collegiate. That's going to be in Carrollton, Texas. Hopefully it's not too hot out there, because it has been hot out here in Texas, especially in Denton. Our women's golf team, however, they had their tournament. That was last Friday. It was a 3-day tournament from Friday to Sunday. It was the Mountain View Collegiate, and we had a huge standout by senior Madison Chantapania. She is a 3-time All-American, and she was a standout for the Mean Green. During these tournaments, we placed 2nd in the first day on Friday, we placed 3rd on the 2nd day, and we placed 4th on the last, which was Sunday. This was out of 16 teams. Congratulations to them. They're always very, very impressive all year long. Let's move on to another sport that's doing a lot of swinging and also very successful into it, and that's going to be our women's tennis team. Our women's tennis reporter, Josh Landers, for the first time ever, he is here right next to me in the studio and not by himself at the set. Josh, how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, and I think just saying that they're doing well is definitely just an understatement for this team, especially because they've won 9 of their last 10 games, and they matched their win total from last season with 12 wins, but they have 7 more games to play this year, so we're really looking to improve that win total going into the American Conference Tournament in Houston. Last week we played against Iowa State and beat them in upset fashion. What was originally supposed to be a doubleheader against Iowa State and Central Oklahoma. Ended up just being against Iowa State because Central Oklahoma postponed the game. I personally think that they were scared to play this team, especially since how hot we've been recently. But that game against Central Oklahoma will be held against any of our other home games this season, either against Liberty, either against Wichita State, or ACU. So I'll give you more updates when I receive them. And we can just keep talking about the past and the future, but let's talk about today as UNT plays against UTSA in Denton, which started a few hours ago at 1 a.m. And I do have some updates about that match. UNT is actually up 1-0 after taking the doubles point, and before the match, head coach Amanda Stone was awarded her award for her 200th career win, which I think is huge and definitely speaks volumes of her talent and the talent with this program as well. And with how things have going, I expect UNT to definitely take home this win, and also to take home wins against Tulsa on March 29th and Liberty on April 3rd at Ranch Tennis Complex in Denton.
Man, it seems like all UNT sports are just doing incredible during this second semester, going towards the end of the year. But we're going to finish off strong. We still got some weeks left, and we're still going to keep you updated here on the Green Screen, the only UNT sports news show. I've been your host, Evanson Frank Love. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram. Don't forget, we'll see you guys next Friday.